How's it going, guys? So today we're going to be flashing the E39. We'll be doing the no onboard emissions flash. So this is going to delete secondary air pump, which we already have the block off plate on it. It's going to delete all the oxygen sensors, the little solenoid that goes to the back. And before you can do anything, you have to start off with this. You have to unplug the secondary air pump. This one's already done. It's missing the cover, so it's easy to do. You go up here, the oxygen sensors. And on this car, you have the rears are right here. We'll unplug both of those. And the fronts are right here. We'll unplug both of those. You can get block offs for them if you want. It's whatever you're into. Usually on the rears, you could just unplug and leave them up here. We'll tape them closed so they don't get anything. And this will also be flashed to 530i. This is a 525. And yeah, we'll see. All right, so Dean's gonna help us flash it here. And before we start, if you haven't gone to Dean's channel, I'll put a link in the description. And he is the mastermind behind getting this worked out, because this is a little bit complicated. So I'm gonna set this up here so I'm not shaking like I have Tourette's. And Dean's gonna tell you a little bit about what we're gonna do here.
Okay, guys, so the first thing you need to go to, now a lot of you probably are already aware of this, is Real OEM. Real OEM will display all parts listed for your car. It's like the BMW parts catalog. It will show every part number, every number of the car related, any kind of pictures. So when you go onto the Real OEM, you're going to want it at the last 8 digits of your VIN or last 7. It depends, or some people ask for the whole VIN. When you enter that, it will load up all details relating to your car. Now, you'll go to engine electrical, which will be on there, and you will see control units. Now, when you click control units, you're going to want to go to the DME side, which will be the engine computer, engine ECU. And then on that side, you'll end up seeing a list of control units with all the part numbers that you need and also the flashing numbers. Now, you want to be careful because you don't want to go to the one that says programmed. You want to go to the one that says control unit not programmed, because that's where it will state the number that you need. Now, for this one, specifically for this car, for Nathan's one, I end up entering it manually for a 530i, because if you put in a 525i, it's going to give the 525i program file. We don't want that. So obviously we wanted the 530i program file, which is what now we got, which is now on flashing. So basically I found it in the files, which Nathan's got, which are the date and files, and we've loaded it up. I've copied the same part number from the ETK Real OEM site, as you guys probably know, and I've loaded it up to Win KFP, which now you're going to probably see us flashing. All you have to do is go into comfort mode and you choose the ZUSB. You don't punch in a number. Whatever you do, don't punch a number. Find it manually, because if you try and punch it in, it might not find it. So it's easier if you do it this way, the way I'm telling you, which is just go to not enter ZUSB, find ZUSB, which is the second one. You press F2 for it, and then you'll find a part number. You scroll down, and if you have got an E39 and you have got the M54 engine, you'll have MSD43. ECU, which the MSD43 is flashable. It will not lock you out of the EWS system, so don't worry about that. They're not triggered. So the only thing you're doing is changing the flash. Now, the one you want to go to is on that section, you'll see one without catalytic converters. You'll see one with onboard emissions, which is Euro 2, and you'll see one with no onboard emissions. Now, that's the one that Nathan's running at the moment in his 530i. That's the one you want to see. You'll see it as OBE, which is none-on-board emissions. That's the one you want to remove. It will show it there in abbreviation, not just the letters, but it does mean no on-board emissions on the car, on the flash program. So that's specific for certain countries that don't need emissions. So that's the flash we're going to be doing, and we're going to go ahead and now flash it with the Win KFP. And then obviously you've got to remember, after you program the ECU, you must do this program the gearbox as well, if it's an automatic. If it's a manual, you don't have to do that. With an automatic, you must program the gearbox after to resync the gearbox with the ECU, because as you know, when you flash the DME, your gearbox will go down as well, which is very crucial to bring your gearbox back, because I get a lot of people saying to me they flash their DME and now their gearbox light on. Your gearbox light's on because you have to reprogram the gearbox as well. If you have got a GM transmission, I would advise as well not doing this with a cable, because you will brick your transmission. You do need the icon to flash it, or you can go to Bimmer Geeks, and Bimmer Geeks do a special cable which is built like an icon, which will flash the gearbox with no issues.
Now, one thing I want to mention too, obviously, if you live in the city, you need a smog. This won't smog. If you live anywhere else and you leave the converter on it or something that looks like a converter, it'll pass inspection, no problem. Other than that, get to it, I guess.
Yep. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and program this right now, as you're probably going to see. Just wait for it to load up, which, as you can see, we're going to program the ECU, which will start the programming now on Nathan's E39. Now, you will see a lot of lights come on, as I've told many of you. On your dash, it will lose synchronization from the gearbox and all the modules. That is perfectly normal. Do not crap your pants. It's perfectly normal. And the light, don't try and rip out the cables. Do anything. All lights will come on. That's what happens. DME's lost connection to all modules. The onboard lights will come on the dash. Nathan, do you want to put the charger up as well? While this is doing?
Yeah, it's on 35 amps. That's one other thing, too. You have to make sure you have a decent charger. My charger is absolute bare minimum to do anything with this, but it will work in a pinch.
It will work with WinKFP. You can use a battery charger. WinKFP doesn't use voltage to determine the programming state. If you're going to use ISTA-P, you cannot use a battery charger. No chance in hell. And sometimes people always ask me, can I use ISTA-P? And I always tell them, what is the point of using ISTA-P? You don't have to. The other modules you're going to get no benefit from updating. DME and gearbox are the only ones you're going to benefit from. Only ones you're going to get power from. You will get no other gains from any of the modules. There's no point updating ISTA-P. No, it's going to do nothing. It's going to upgrade your integration level, but that is it. Integration level doesn't mean anything. It just means it's harder for people like me when you get it on the bench, because then I have to downgrade all the software to be able to do anything with it. That's all it does. So I'm advising you don't need to use ISTA-P to flash anything. DME and gearbox are the main crucial parts. If you have the E60s on the other hand and you're trying to do this, my best advice, you need to do the fuel pump as well. Don't just do DME and gearbox. You must do the fuel pump to compensate for the fuel, because obviously if you do a mapping like this to an E60 and you've got the M54, the fuel pump's got to know the amount of fuel to regulate for that mapping, because you've got to understand you're changing the mapping on the DME. The only way you can do that is to regulate the fuel from the fuel pump module as well. For the fuel pump module to know they all correspond together. But you don't need to go playing about the CAS up. People playing about the CAS updating it and it ends up bricking. Don't do that. You don't want to be playing about that, because you, like I said, then that means you have to send it to me. To them, I have to do CAS recovery. Same with your FRM. Don't play with your FRMs as well on your E90s.
And a lot of that stuff with this ISTA-P is, it's not only has a minimum, 13 volts to 14.2, it also has a maximum. And with the battery charger, you're trying to flip from 35 amp to 200 amp back and forth, trying to regulate it, but you can't. It's going to go too high or too low and stop ISTA-P.
And then you don't want to be left in that situation, because then what happens is it will kick you out of the programming during programming session, and then all your modules are bricked, because it takes all your modules down and it will take them all offline while using ISTA-P. This is why I recommend not to use ISTA-P. You're going to get no gains. For me, and my it's fine for me, because obviously I have voltage stabilizer, I'm fine to use that. But for others, it's something I strongly recommend staying away from unless you've got experience with that, and unless you then know how to use WinKFP to recover your modules. If you have no idea to recover them, don't use ISTA-P. As you guys probably know, most of you already know, I've got the bench flash set up where I'll do it all on the bench. I can program the modules, do the keys, do everything. I can do CAS recovery, the FRM recovery. So my skills are not limited at all on this. But for others, they're very limited. You only can lock yourself out the EWS system. Your car won't start. You'll end up in big problems. And obviously for that kind of issue, you guys know, especially in the US, the dealers will have your pants down for anything to do with a module. So it's best advice to stay away from ISTA-P. And you guys know already, if you have problems, come to me.
And something else too, if you get the Chinese version of ISTA or whatever you're using and you brick something, if you take that to the dealer, you have to be very careful. You take it to the dealer, what do you think they're going to do if they fix it? If they fix it, they're going to charge you an insane amount of money, because they know there's nowhere else you could take it. So the only person who's going to be able to fix that's Dean. I don't know anybody else in the U.S. that could fix stuff once it's bricked at all.
And that's mainly because, and as I said to a lot of you, and I will state this now, a lot of you message me, don't want to get the software, but you've got to understand one thing. The software is widely available over the internet. I'm not going to deny that. You guys know that as well. But you've got to understand one thing. It's something I've been wanting to say to a lot of you. The people that sell you this software, state in their terms and conditions, only buy this software if you know how to use it. They have no idea how to use it. The people selling this are selling it for the money. They have no clue how to use it. If you go on their items for sale, wherever you buy it from, they have hundreds of different software. They have no clue how to sell it. They're just selling it to make an income. They don't know how to use it. They're not professionals at it. They won't help you with it. And now I get a lot of people who go and buy the software from outside and then ask me to help them to use it. And to be honest, like I say, I don't help them because why should I? You bought it from somewhere else and you want me to help you to use it. That is what my knowledge comes from. That's what you pay for when you buy the software direct from me for that reason. Because obviously you get my knowledge along with it, which a lot of people have no clue how to use these programs. No clue whatsoever. And that's what you're paying for, really, is the knowledge that I've got regarding these programs, because it's not easy. It really is not easy to understand these programs. And like I said, the majority of people, I'm probably the 1% of people that, you know, when you buy these programs, know how to use them. And I can use all the other ones as well for the main dealers. Like I say, it's not easy to repair modules. It's not easy to do it on a bench because there's a lot of soldering involved. It's also not easy to bring a module back to life and to recover it.
So what's...
But it's something I can do.
Tell them what the likelihood... Let's say you're very Windows savvy. You're very computer savvy. You go on eBay and you buy a Chinese version of ISTA. What are the odds you'd be able to figure that out? My opinion of that... less than 5% of people is going to just figure that out or be able to figure that out.
That's correct. And you know why? I had a guy yesterday actually comment on my video saying to me, you have got some of the best videos ever. And do I think that people shouldn't watch you? No, not at all, because your attention to detail and the way you explain things is phenomenal. But the one thing that people don't explain is how to install ISTA. He was asking me to do a video and I said to him, does he know how long it takes to install that program? Nathan, you know how long it takes. And I'm sure the majority of people that are watching this who I've done it for know how long it takes. It is not a quick install. When I done it for Nathan, it took us like 4 days.
And if it is a quick install, something's wrong.
Yeah, it should never be a quick install. And then if you are buying it from online, please be aware that you're probably ISTA is all run, and let me tell you this: it's all made, and the servers are made in the databases by whatever car that person's got. ISTA is run and made on a car, whatever they've got. So, for instance, if that person's got an E46, you can expect their ISTA to work on an E46 better than most other cars. For instance, we have an E60s, so I make these programs run on E60, E90, and all the E63, E65, E66, and the F-Series now better than all the other older cars, because I don't believe they should be running on E46 and E39, because realistically, they're not that technically savvy that they really need that many computers. E60 upwards needs this software, but older cars don't really need it that much.
Talk about computer requirements too. How much space they need free.
Computer requirements, like for Nathan at the moment, we've got Nathan running off an external, and he's running off his normal hard drive, which I think 500 gig, and that's already maxed out. He can't have no more on that, and he's running off an external for ISTA-P, the Daytons, and other stuff on there. And I've got more programs to install for Nathan, which is nearly another 10, and Nathan's going to be able to do the cloning, the key programming, everything that you guys need to. You guys ain't going to just be able to send it to me. You'll be able to send it to Nathan. And if Nathan needs help, I can remote him and do it for him. So that, again, is going to be another option Nathan is going to be doing.
However, don't email me right now, want me to do stuff for you right now as far as that goes, because we're not set up for that at all right now. I'm not. Dean is. So we'll put Dean's email below or some way to contact him. We'll put his social security number, his phone number.
Nathan's going to be shortly. He's going to be set up, but he's going to have the software ready to go. He's going to have the software ready to go.
If you want to buy something from Dean, we're going to put his home address with a spare key. We're going to give you to get in his house, and you go ask him how to fix something.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. If they have a clue how to even operate the test bench, I'll be surprised. But, you know, they can kind of come in here and repair whatever they want, but I highly doubt they'd have a clue how to operate it. But that all being said, jokes aside, yes, Nathan will have it. Nathan ain't going to be up and running yet. He'll have the software ready to go. But he has not got the programmers. He has not got the voltage supply needed for the bench. He will have all the software, but he will not be able to do it. But when he does, that's going to take some time to get Nathan set up, because it's something I need to bring Nathan into, because I know that I had a guy from the US at the moment who locked himself out of his EWS and triggered it, and he can't even start his car. And Nathan would be the ideal guy to send that to and get that done.
Let's talk a little bit about comments and answering emails and questions too. Dean has the same issue I have. There's hundreds of people every day emailing. We cannot, I personally cannot. If Dean doesn't sleep, maybe he could answer them all. But you guys don't understand how many people email us all the time, every day.
That's what I want to relate to, because Nathan, there's a lot of people on your channel who do subscribe for me, and I know you're going to watch this. I just want to relate this now. That video was not aimed at anybody. That video, Nathan knows why I did that. I woke up out of bed, I had over 150 comments, nearly 100 emails, and I always state my email is only for business inquiries only. I had comments about M62, about bringing their car to me, this, that, van or solenoids, help them with this, explain everything I said in my video. And I woke up with over 100 emails. My emails were coming down and down and down when I woke up. They would not stop from people and all these names. To the point I moved them all. I'm sorry to say, guys, I moved them all to junk. I could not reply to all of you.
And
all of them have gone to junk.
At this point, neither one of us wants you to bring your car to our house or fix it for free. I don't care about fixing other people's cars right now. I mean, if you have a question and I see it and I can answer it, I will. But that's about as far as I want to go. Especially the M52 timing chain guy people. We love you guys. You guys watch the hell of my videos. I do not want to fix any 740i, IL, LI, 540i's, X5s of that engine. I can do it. I have all the tools to do it. That is a very extensive job. Maybe if you have something I've never done before, maybe we'll take it, but I'm not going to go drive to Washington State 4,000 miles away to go pick it up for free and bring it back. You guys.
You know what? I just want to say, Nathan, I understand these people's frustration. There's not enough people doing E60, and this is why me and you get the end of it. There isn't enough people doing it. There's a lot of people doing E90. There's nobody doing the software side like we are, as well as the program, and this is what it is. And I get it. It's the frustration, because I know you guys in America, you go to the dealer, you can't afford it. It's gonna rip you apart. I get that, but at the same time, I can't be pestered and then when I tell you a price, you guys are like, I can get it done better and cheaper at the dealer. Well, if that's the case, I know that's crap. Everyone knows that's crap. You can't. You know, at the end of the day, like I said to you, I don't mind helping you lot, but the emails, the comments, my goodness, that like I said, it's overwhelming for me. You guys got to understand, I come from not having nobody, and to everybody ask me a question every day. I get it, your problems need fixing, and I try my hardest. Everyone knows I'm probably the only channel that replies to every single comment there, but I stopped. I can't. I physically can't reply to you lot. You lot come back and then go back and then go. It's constant. And
we're not bitching at you guys at all. We're just saying a lot of you guys get angry at us for not answering back, and that's why we thought we'd address this. We just can't. I'm one person, Dean's one person. There's hundreds of thousands of my channel, millions of people watching. Can't answer all those questions. We cannot do that.
I know, and that's what I mean. I'm not just watching the US. I get people from Europe, from Turkey, I'm watched all over the world. You know, when you go on your YouTube, you see how many countries are watching. I'm watched all over the world. I get people from Australia, New Zealand, USA, Canada, all over from contacting me. And you got to understand, you guys on a lot of different time zones as well. I try my best to help you, and a lot of people know that. I will set up your time to compensate, to help you with the software, to help you with your programming, to help you do your things to get your cars back running. And then, you know, it's hard for me to adjust back to my own routine, but I try and help everyone out as much as I can. Some people say I'm this, I'm that. I don't want to start swearing because that won't be good for Nathan's monetization status. But, you know what a lot of you call me. But at the end of the day, I try my best. I physically cannot answer them emails and can't answer them comments. There is way too many coming through.
It's to the point, if we hired two people couldn't just do that only. I mean, it's just an insane amount.
It is. And personally, I was even in the state where I was gonna hire someone. I don't, like I said, I like YouTube, I like the community, but it's just too much questions. Yeah.
All right, battery's good, guys.
Okay. Yeah, as I was saying, I don't even sync my emails anymore, because my emails from this will just go tumble down in like 20 lines from emails.
And that's the thing. If you answered all your emails, let's say if you got several hundred a day, you answered all 700, all those people are going to write back, and another 700 is going to write the next day.
Exactly, and that's what happens. And I just want to state something, and Nathan, please help me with this one. We are not owned by YouTube. YouTube is not our boss. This is one thing people keep getting wrong. We are not there to serve you. We're doing it because we want to. A lot of people are getting very confused with that. They think YouTube is our boss and we must help you. That's not the case. We don't even have to do YouTube if we don't want to.
Yeah.
We're doing it because we want to.
Yeah, and something to that. If I go to a big YouTuber and write them a question, I know they're not going to write me back. There's no way. It just, YouTube isn't like that.
Yeah, it's not like that. You think of them people with 3 million, 4 million. You can't reply to 4 million people. It's bizarre. You can't. Not even if you hired someone, they would want to reply to 4 million people. Okay, Guys. Anyway, as you see, the program is okay. we did it with the flash, as you'll see up there. This was the different part number, which is right up there. Nathan, I don't know if you want to move the camera so they can see. This one up here, which is 5681. So as you see, that's the engine flash complete. So now what we're going to go and do is I'm going to now flash the gearbox, which we're going to go here, and we're going to go to update ZUSB.
So this is going to take off, like we said, secondary pump, all 4 oxygen sensors, and all the piping. That's about 3. I'll turn your phone down a little bit, Dean. It's echoing in the background.
Okay.
It's going to take off, what, 4 or 5, about $800 worth of stuff off your car that you don't have to mess with. And that's the benefit of doing this. A lot of you California guys are like, oh my God, how are you flashing this? You heathen, you're taking off the pollution. We're all going to die tomorrow because of pollution. No, that's not the case. Well, I mean, it is the case, but you're not going to die tomorrow because of it.
So what we're doing here, I just want to show you that while we're just going in to see the gearbox number, so we know which gearbox it is. So it's GS8604. So that's the gearbox we got here. So now we come out of there, and now what we're going to do is go back to WinCare Feed, because we want to make sure we flash the gearbox with the right one. We don't want to be flashing it with the wrong file. So the gearbox doesn't matter. The gearbox doesn't change anything. So what we're going to go is go to this one right here. Go to Comfort Update, and you just click it here, GSD8604. Then, as you'll see here, you just program the ZB update, and you'll probably see an issue does not answer. So what we're going to want to go to is we'll go here, and here, and we'll just go here. There we go.
Just right there, you have to know what if something doesn't go right, you have to know what to do immediately.
Yeah, that's what you do. You have to know. So now we've got to enter your VIN. So that one's now entered. So now the VIN's entered. Now we'll just program the gearbox. So as you can see, this one could be programmed 12 times. Not that I think anyone would need to program the gearbox 12 times, but hey ho. So now we just wait for it to load this thing, do its thing. And as you see, programming's on the way. So as you see, it won't let you program it differently because it's got a different flash, so it can't find it, but you can program it just with the latest file. Now, if you go to the bottom, it will be the latest update for these gearboxes. That was the last one, so that would be the latest flash for this car. Now what it will do, obviously, it will throw a load of codes because it lost the ME connection, this, that, the other. So now what we'll do is we will go into, instead of using ISTA, because it's just a headache to load up, we'll use IMPA, wipe all the codes, which will be probably electronic codes, losing communication after this. And then Nathan will start the car, and you'll see there will be no check engine lights on after this. Everything should work and function as it should.
Let me go and jerk the cord out real quick to the ICOM right now, and it should work out good, huh?
You can do that. I can repair it, so it's not an issue.
That's another thing, too. If you have some kind of connection problem in the middle of doing this, you have to know what to do. If you have a connection issue right now, it is going to brick it.
No, it's not even about that. It's even if you... I get a lot of people, they tell me, yeah, their battery's good, their battery's brand... And then their battery is a load of junk. Their battery's old, and I tell them, do not even flash it with an old battery. Don't even dare.
I started... Every car that I buy that comes through here, the first thing I do is put a new battery in it. Whether it's good or not. Because if it is good, it's going to be iffy.
Oh, your framework's updating, Nathan. Hey, finally you're getting somewhere.
I'll go and stop this until this is done, or we're close to being done. Now we're back. Everything programmed fine.
So now what we're going to do is I'm going to go and clear the codes, as you're probably going to see. I'm also going to use IMPA because it's easier than using ISTA. We can't use ISTA.
Faster than using ISTA.
Yeah, it takes too long to load up, and I've got to switch the ICOM over from it, so it's just easy to use ISTA and just clear the fault codes. Now, as you're going to see here, we're going to have a lot of faults. I'm just going to click on it, and we're going to go with MSD43. You need to be careful there, what one you select, and then we're going to go error memory, so F4, read error memory, which I'm guessing they're going to be a lot, but now having problems reading the ECU. So what we're going to do is we'll close that down, and we're just going to use ISTA actually to scan it. I think it'll be better because this one doesn't want to scan it probably. So let's go into ISTA. ISTA should find it immediately and rectify the issue, and then we've got to clear the full codes. Nathan's then got to...
But you can see though, as he's going along, he's using other stuff too, like things to lock the icon and unlock it. There's a whole array of things you have to use, not just one program.
And that's it. That's what people think. It's just one program. As I state to a lot of you, ISTA will just do your diagnostics, but then you have WinKFP for flashing, NCS Expert for coding. You then have Impath for reading ISNs and things like that if you need to. You then have other tools that, as you can see on Nathan's laptop, well, that ain't even just half of them. You guys have seen mine. There is a lot of stuff that goes with this when doing it, and it can take a lot. It can do, you know, you have to know what you're doing and what tool to go to, where to use it, how to use it. Because a lot of people think they can use it and then get in a bad situation and they're screwed. And that's what it is. A lot of people touch one thing on their cars, it's normal, and then they end up messaging me because they don't have to talk to do the next function on the car. They'll touch one thing on the car and then think they can do it, but what they don't understand is when you touch one thing, it then requires another tool to do another thing. You cannot fix everything with that one tool. So for instance, you'll go and flash your car, but then you need to clear the codes. Sometimes you need to recode. If you don't do all that, you're in big crap. Now you see, I'm just going to pick it up with ISTA. So we're going to use ISTA now. We're going to lock. As you see, the icons popped up. You guys know how to use that if you've already got an icon anyway. So we're not going to get into the details regarding that one. Now we'll scan the vehicle identification and do its thing, which it needs to do. So now we just wait. As you guys know, E39 takes a long time because it runs on PT CAN, so it runs takes a very long time to read out anything compared to the E60s and E90s. And as you see, then it all pops up. That's why I don't usually use Impa a lot, and I use ISTA because Impa can be funny. So you have to be careful.
Yeah, see, we're on 35 amps on the battery charger, and it's barely keeping up. It just turned the lights on right now as it's scanning it.
Now, ISTA will do that. ISTA will turn all your lights. It checks everything. It's checking all the light modules, the GM module. It checks the DME. And as you see, the DME and gearbox is green, which is a good sign already. Everything's green from flashing. I'm just going to show you guys that the programming status is active. Airbag light, all these kind of faults is, Nathan knows why. There's nothing we can do about that, but DME and EGS is green, so the car will start. I'm just going to quickly go and recode it as well, because it needs to be recoded. That's another thing you need to make sure you do is recode it, because otherwise you end up coding data errors, which I don't think there is on this one, because they're all green. If they had a coding data error, we'd have a yellow light on them, but they're green. Now means they will speak anyway and communicate. Now, you saw Impa, it wasn't because of the software, just Impa. Impa being funny, as it does. It doesn't always read. A lot of you know that. That's why switch straight to ISTA if you get that problem, and job pops your uncle.
I think your light module, I got a fog light out, a fog lamp out.
There's a lot of modules here. Most of it's LCM, DSC.
I can't remember. There's so many cars, I can't remember what this one needed. This probably needs the pump.
As you see, yeah, the pump pre-charging
rebuild
pump on that one. Right there. I-key gone, so what you can do is just clear that and just clear them, whatever ones, and then you just clear them all. Really, they're not for DME yet. So there's no coding, so Nathan can actually go and show you now the car starting, no fault codes, because everything else is done.
Alright. There it goes. Give it a second. That'll back down. We'll come off a totally dead battery, so it's gonna take a second to start. Everything's still unhooked, as you can see. We'll go back in and check it one more time. No check engine light. And the airbag light's on because, well, the seat's not in it. The brake light's on because it needs that rebuild. Yep, ABS. The circuit board needs to be rebuilt. Let me turn this sneaky thing off.
As you see there, that's the flash successful. You see no engine lights. I've changed the flash over. There's no engine lights. And you wearing it, Nathan?
A little bit.
How's it feel?
Rough.
Rough? It's alright. We can eliminate that. We're not on ignition. We can eliminate that.
I'm getting friggin' dying of lung disease just from smelling this thing real quick.
Now, let me just say, if it does feel rough, one thing about these, just reset the adaptions. Because resetting the adaptions brings the car back into full state. Because obviously, this is what I said to you, sometimes any coding on the E60s, you'll need to recode the data. Otherwise, they won't start, or sometimes they'll run completely rough. With the E39, E46, you should just reset the adaptions. Now, sometimes you don't have to do that, it just depends. But on this occasion, it's running rough, so it needs the adaptions reset.
On these cars, the throttle body gets out of whack real easy, I noticed too.
Yeah, as soon as you do anything, your throttle body comes out on them.
Let me stop this and change the battery real quick, it's almost dead. Okay, so we changed the camera battery, it was going dead. Here's what we got, we just ran the codes on it again. And
so as you'll see here, it's got the adaption, which is what I said. You need to adapt the engine throttle, and you'll also see, because the engine throttle can't read the amount of air, you'll see signal air mass flow sensor. So that's all to do with the adaptions need resetting, because when you rev it, obviously you let air through the throttle body into the engine, and it can't take the right amount of air coming in, so you need to reset the adaptions, which is what I said. The DSC is just the DSC that's playing up because Nathan needs to get that sorted. That's nothing we can do. We can't even do the single angle sensor calibration because of that, but we are going to go ahead and reset the adaptions. Now, when you want to reset the adaptions, as you see with our service function, now I'll get this asked a lot. A lot of you will say to me, why doesn't my Insta look like yours? Well, if you're going to download a free version, that's what you're going to get. So as you see here, we're now going to reset the adaptions, which is very easy. Takes 2 minutes, then we're just going to, with the M54, it resets the gearbox all in one, so you don't have to go and reset the gearbox like you do on the E60. With the mechatronics, this resets the whole lot. So we'll just reset all adaptions, and then do continue. That just values reset. So now, Nathan, do you want to switch the key off to position 0? And then it will say to wait 20 seconds, or you can leave it a little longer than that, let it all get into the system. And then that's it. What it is, the throttles come out of alignment with the DME, which is normal when you flash the car. As Nathan said, these throttles on these always have an issue. So
yeah, because some scanners will reset the adaptions on E39s and E46s, but man, sometimes it gets in this weird thing too when you reset the adaptions, it doesn't want to come back. And that's the perfect sign of it. When you touch the throttle, it doesn't have a response. And idling rough.
Yeah, so this is why you just reset the adaptions again, because the program is meant to do that, but clearly it didn't. So, and it does it on my M54 as well, my E46. I reset it quite a few times, Nathan knows, and it's going all over the place. And I have to reset it again twice to do it. And it'll sound the same, it'll feel rough, it'll feel like it's misfiring, it'll feel like it's like bouncing everywhere. But now, Nathan, do you want to restart the car? Like, just turn the key on ignition. Right, continue there. Okay. You're on position 2?
Yep.
Okay. Now we just click continue. So now we just make sure, I just want to be correct. I don't think there is a transmission on this car. But let's just be sure. No, there's not. That's it. So that's that one done. So now what we're going to do is we'll clear them fault codes because they're not needed anymore. We'll clear them out of the system. Obviously, as you guys know, DSC and that I'm not in control of. Can't do that. That's down to Nathan. LCM, again, down to Nathan. Lights out all over the place.
And then DSC, there is a guy on eBay rebuilding those. He charges like $100. That's what this needs.
All right, Nathan. If you want to start the car up now, just show them again. You just touch the throttle.
All right, normal start. Open this up. There you go, perfect throttle.
There you go. Yeah, so as Nathan told you, that wasn't a problem with the software or the programming. That is a common problem of the M54 engine. If you do anything to them, even coding, any touching even on the engine, you reset the adaptions, I'm telling you, if you start that car and you don't leave it for them 20 seconds, you can expect to be doing that again. It will cause issues, and Nathan knows that as well, as he said. So now what we're going to do is go to Vista. The programming, as you've seen, is now complete. It's been updated. It's now running the no onboard emissions programming file, which Nathan, showing them how to do now. They shouldn't have to do it. I know it's something I get asked a lot. If they do need me to do it and they don't feel comfortable, I'll do it for them. It's not really an issue. They link my channel. They know where to come.
Yeah, so that's really it, guys. I mean, kind of a little bit of a complex procedure. I hope you learned a little bit today on these E46, E39s, and even E53 with that engine, or X3. Anything with M54, M52tu, you could do this tune on. Like I was just saying, don't do this if you live in the city. It's not going to smog. I don't think it'll smog. Who knows? Also with this tune, you can run straight pipes. If you want to run no cats, you can run just totally straight pipes, you know, whatever you're into. That does free you up to do stuff, especially you race car guys that are using these as drift cars, E46s, I guess, at this point. That is a tune that you would definitely prefer on that. So that's going to be it, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.